Extended family gathers. Mildly alcoholic drinks are passed around. The songs of the season are sung. There is a lot of calf-deep sloshing in mud. Laughter and jokes. Doesn't sound like work, does it? And yet, for the people doing this, it is the most important work they will do in a year. After all, they are planting rice, their main source of nourishment. It does sound like a lot of fun, doesn't it? With labor like this, you don't need leisure, you will say. Consider another scenario. A man and a woman carry 10 kilos between them. They have 3 bags on each arm, and they trudge from one cramped space to another, where they strip and dress and strip and dress. They're grumpy and torn between choices and close to exhausted. This is how the man and the woman are spending their leisure. Leisure? What's leisure? The people in the first scenario will ask. Is it a kind of work? And indeed, it can be. Now, I don't want to romanticize. Transplanting rice seedlings can be very hard, and shopping for clothes can be fun. But perhaps we need to rethink the concepts of labor and leisure. And to do this, let's adopt the position of the people in the first scenario. These are villagers from the part of India where I grew up, where when the monsoons were more predictable, people didn't plant rice one year if they had had a bumper harvest the previous year. Why accumulate more when you have enough, right? But please note that this is in the past tense. For these villagers, there was no labor and there were no deadlines. Instead of labor, there were things that needed to be done, and instead of deadlines, there were right times. The right times for things to be completed. If the things that needed to be done could be done with pleasure, then that is how they were done. Instead of leisure, as a contrast to labor, there were celebrations or festivals. Festivals were when people did the things that didn't need to be done. And of course, these things too were done with pleasure. And then there was also rest. You can imagine why these people, who only did things that needed to be done when they were not resting or celebrating, would be confused when they learn more about the people in the first scenario, the ones doing all the shopping. How strange, they will say. They are suffering in order to be able to suffer. That's not work, that's madness. Labor, leisure. Perhaps it is time for us to rethink this dichotomy. It doesn't seem to be working for most of us, and it doesn't work for the planet we live on. We're all just getting hot and bothered, and the same thing is happening to the planet, right? To challenge the labor-leisure dichotomy, let's take inspiration from the way the non-human world runs its affairs. Nature doesn't labor and then take time off on the weekend. It has seasons. Some of them active, some of them less so. How does it know when it's time for which season? Well, there's a life force, right? A natural rhythm. This is not a slow, lazy thing. It is what gets the roots of a tree to split open a rock. But our movement, our striving, is often to a different beat. Why? Well, one of the reasons for this is that we don't live with nature, we live by the clock. We are also driven beyond what is necessary. We stay up all night to read, to write, to paint, to solve puzzles. We're connected across seasons and geographies. working collectively with people when their winter is our summer. None of this is bad. Some of it is great. But is there a way we can make some adjustments and try and get more into the rhythm of the natural world around us if we think that's something worth trying? How can we create seasons of activity rather than these tight cycles of labor and leisure? Well, the first thing we can do is to go fast when we want to go fast and go slow when we want to go slow. We can't do this as individuals. The world would descend into chaos if we tried. But we can have a collective rethink about our cycles of activity. When do we really want to have our summer vacations? And do we really need such long ones? Should we all deliberately slow down long before the end of the year? Should we commit to a gentle start to the new year in January? Should we work less every day and work a little on the weekend? Should children go to school for half the time they do now? And should schools be open for sports and art and music classes on the weekend? Should we all take naps after lunch? One of the inevitable results of such a collective rethink is that we might all work less, but we might not achieve less. We might spend less time fighting fires, quite literally. We might wage less war. After all, we would be thinking collectively. We might spend less time in hospitals or off sick. Remember, we're not having labor and leisure anymore. We're having seasons. Nature does well with seasons. Let's see how we do. Now, if we all start to think like nature, act like nature, have seasons like nature, think collectively about resting enough, celebrating enough, and think less about maximizing what we can get, we would probably leave our planet alone a lot more. Our soils would get on with their rest, and whatever celebrations may be happening in the soils that we are getting in the way of, the plant life in our rivers may get a break from filtering all of our effluents and toxins. Our skies would be less full of people jetting around to make the most of their leisure time. The solution to the sickness in our bodies, our societies, our planet, might just lie in all of us getting into a natural rhythm. Thank you.